This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. Hello, ladies. Hello out there. We're starting on a somber tone, if you can tell, because Israeli families are waiting in agony to find out the fate of their loved ones who are held hostage by Hamas. Israel says they have secured the border with Gaza as they continue their bombardment, as more than 350,000 troops have been mobilized. If you didn't know, everyone in Israel becomes a soldier at 18. Videos on social media show long lines at Israeli airports as people wait for hours trying to flee the violence. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to savage Hamas, saying, quote, "What we do to our enemies in the coming days will reverberate with them for generations." Talk about true terror. Hamas yesterday threatened to kill a civilian hostage every time Israel hits civilians in Gaza without warning. There are reportedly holding up to 150 hostages, and already what appears to be a video of a woman's grandmother being killed was posted on the grandmother's own Facebook page by Hamas. I want to give that a beat to show what that means. Yet Gadal v'yet Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Amen. That's the mourner's Kaddish. We want to have that grandmother rest in peace. Sam, what do you think about what's going on of these developments and how terrorists have changed to use their own phone and social media to really terrorize all of us?
I think it's unfathomable. I think it's pure evil. My heart goes out to everybody in Israel. My heart goes out to everybody in that Gaza Strip that are not linked to Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization, and they are monstrous, and they need to be dismantled and gone. I also am, my husband's Israeli. He has family in Israel. His mom is working on trying to get as many people out as she can. So she's one of those individuals dealing with the airports and everything like that. I want to be careful with my words here, because when I express sympathy for Israelis and Palestinians, sometimes I get met with, well, don't you support this or don't you support that or the Jewish people? Of course I do. My husband's Jewish. It's just a really complicated history, and it's the innocent people that I'm worried about. I'm worried about the Gazans. I'm worried about Palestinians. I'm worried about Israelis. I've been watching videos of the hostage situation with the grandmother. I can't even finish watching those things. But I've also seen innocent civilians in Gaza Strip, babies, children, 288 children who have also been murdered. So war sucks. And what happened to Israel over the weekend is the absolute abhorrent criminal crimes. I just want Netanyahu to be very specific with his targets when it comes to Hamas, because there's too many innocent casualties in Palestine and that Gaza Strip, in my opinion, already. That alone is also a war crime, in my opinion.
Absolutely. Let's make it clear to everyone. Hamas is not Palestinians. Palestinians are not Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist group. We should separate those two. Erica, what do you think about using the Facebook of the grandmother to show on her own page?
Yeah, that's like, it's just next level.
Yeah. Because
that's guerrilla warfare utilizing social media. No one's anticipating seeing that or have that happen. I'm listening to what you're saying, Tori, and you did such an excellent job yesterday of explaining, because there's so much misinformation, because people simply do not know what they do not know. But much to what Sam's point was, I just think about, this could potentially happen anywhere. The root of it, just groups of people deciding what's going to be best for those who are with them, and then as a result, victimizing innocent people or innocent people who are in proximity to them, who are then perhaps guilty or seen guilty by proximity, association. And I think to just the way our country has been and how many people are in proximity to something that they don't subscribe to, they don't believe in, but perhaps someone that is right next to them, their neighbor, even someone in their home, does that automatically make you, especially as a child who hasn't been able to make any decisions for themselves, guilty?
Yeah.
Or on the other side, it's like, I want to be very careful too, because I'm learning, just like the majority of people clearly are in real time.
Sure.
All the nuances of this conversation, but ultimately I just caution people, because things like this, especially with the divisiveness around the world,
Yeah, it could happen.
It could happen anywhere.
It's a great point. I just want to also caution parents to keep their kids perhaps off social media for a while. In Israel, they're doing the same. There's a lot that I was scrolling through and saw that I wasn't okay with or warned for. Please be careful when you're looking on social media. It is not an easy place right now to navigate as an adult. There's also a lot of focus right now in the U.S., the reaction to the war. But get this, Congress cannot secure any funding to Israel, any aid, without a Speaker of the House, which you know we don't have. So Republicans are meeting today to try and find a replacement for Kevin McCarthy. What do we think on the pressure to respond to the war in Israel will force Republicans to put their differences aside? Is this a bipartisan issue? Is this the first one?
I would hope so, and I hope that they get their act together. But just to give everybody a little bit of a peace of mind, Biden has issued, we already had treaties and such, $158 billion of aid. It's already being executed to Israel. Excellent. So let's just remember that there is aid already there, already on its way. But yeah, it doesn't excuse the fact that they need to get their act together. Here we are with a dismantled Congress because they are children.
Yeah.
They are not governing like they're supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, it's a joke at this point. Also, we have a U.S. aircraft carrier on its way, the biggest in the world, headed towards, I think, a group towards Israel. And Italy, Germany, and France are all on board as well to support Israel, just letting you all know that. Coming up on DBL, Dr. Coley is going to be joining us to give advice with dealing with the stress and anxiety, especially with the talk of war in the Middle East. And our interview with a female bodybuilder in her 60s, how she's inspiring others to get fit at any age. This is the interview you need to see. To blow it out. It's just not. You can try it.
I'll try it.
Okay.
Just to see if we get anything out of it.
Just so you guys
We got
know.
the pit crew right here.
Yeah, pit crew. Just so you guys know, it's World. Are we on? Oh, it's October 10th, and it's World Mental Health Day. And I want everyone out there to know we'll be talking about that a bit with Dr. Coley and about how difficult this all is. But if anyone is out there watching right now, as I get pit stopped with everyone, please know you are worth it. You are wanted in this world, and if you're struggling, today is a day to reach out to someone, even if it's me, even if it's just good old Tori. Today is the day to support each other. It's rough out there, so I just want to be able to let people know today's the day to be aware of that, to spread kindness, to ask, hey, just, how you doing? How you doing? That's all I'm asking. Someone just wrote in, Teresa Conte, psychological operations. I wanted to tell you what my dad told me about 9/11. And he said, there's a reason that the terrorists picked airplanes. And I said, why? And he said, because everyone takes an airplane and everyone's on social media. So terrorists use things that are very common to make you literally terrorized to do anything normal. So it's a very specific new social warfare of social media that we hadn't thought of. So just wanting to let you guys know how terrorists actually terrorize. I'm putting this in. My ways to avoid complaining. Ravens fan says I can't even watch the news. Rolling Trouble says,
really quickly
please.
about a lot of the young Israeli people that I'm connected to online are protesting Netanyahu's response to cut off the electricity, the food, the water in Gaza.
Yeah.
Because
It's okay.
Welcome back to DBL. Today is World Mental Health Day. So I want to ask all of you out there, how are you doing? Really? How you doing? Not only is the stress of life a daily struggle for so many of us, but with this new war happening in the Middle East, It's really overwhelming. And we're here to process it with you. And because of that, we've got our own Dr. Coley. Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so happy you're here, Dr. Coley, because I'm struggling, and I'm reading the comments right now. A lot of our viewers are struggling, wanting to be informed and compassionate and empathetic in regard to the war in the Middle East. But a lot of us are wondering, where is that balance to protect our mental health?
You know, this is exactly what I struggle with every single day. And so I think there are a few strategies that science tells us can help us cope, where we can keep up, we can be compassionate, but we also kind of carve out time for our mental health. So the first is, you don't want to watch the news, you want to try to read the news.
Okay.
Because we know that our visual cortex gets triggered when we see images of violence in a different way than if we were just to read about it.
So a newspaper or, okay, I hadn't thought of this.
Yes, and then the second is you want to schedule what we call worry time. So my worry time is when I first wake up in the morning, because I want to keep up on what's happening, and I turn on the television, I listen, but that's it. It's those 30 minutes, and then the rest of the day I have to be present for my patients, for my family, for my friends, and for myself. So you don't let that worry time sort of creep into the entire day. And then the third is actually to take your negative energy, Sam, and turn it into something positive.
Yes.
So you're sitting there doom scrolling on social media. You're seeing all these horrible images of families of people who got kidnapped by the terrorists and such. And instead you say, how can I give back? Is there a charity organization? Is there a food bank? Is there the American Red Cross? Is there something that I could contribute to that might help me to give back? And then the final is, if you know that you're spiraling, it's interfering with your functioning, the thoughts are sort of taking over your life, reach out to a friend, reach out to your doctor, reach out to a therapist, get the help.
That is
well said, especially on World Mental Health Day.
Yeah.
So thank you for that. Also, children. My kids are 6 and 3, but I want you to speak to our audience who might have older kids. Do you be honest with them about the war? What do you do? Is it age appropriate? What?
It's very much age dependent. So at 6 and 3, under the age of 8, you want to be reactive. So you want to wait for your child to come and ask you questions, and then you want to be sure you stick to the facts. So don't let your feelings creep in there. So make sure you've sort of kind of compensated your emotions, because you don't want your child to feel your emotions. So for example, if Sophie asks you, Sam, what's going on over there? Say, it's very far away from us. We are safe over here. Well, why is it happening? You know, people are fighting for power, but we are safe over here. So you re-emphasize that to a younger child. Now, if they're older, over the age of 8 or teenage adolescent, you want to have more of a sort of cerebral conversation with them, and you want to ask them what they know. So you have them start the conversation, and you say, what have you heard? What worries you about this? What do you think about what's going on out there?
Her family is in Israel. Sophie's uncles live in Israel. Her cousins live in Israel. So that's a tough situation too. But I'm glad you addressed that to the viewers.
Has she asked you about it yet?
No, she has not. So I will wait. I will wait.
Great advice. Wow.
Well, let's switch gears a little bit, because a favorite candy is now banned in California. So what is going on with Skittles?
Are you a Skittles girl?
Yeah, I have been in the past, absolutely. Yeah.
So it's one of 12,000 items that could potentially be affected. And so it's not specific to Skittles. It's called the Skittles ban, but it actually applies to these food additives. One of them is the red color number 3, which is in everything. Cake mixes, instant potatoes, what have you. And the idea is we've banned it from our cosmetics since the 1990s, but yet the FDA is not doing anything about banning it from our food. And so here I think it's really, really interesting. Governor Newsom has taken the initiative, I hope other states will do this as well, to poke the FDA. He's telling the FDA to wake up and pay attention. We're not going to allow this in our state because it's been linked to reproductive harm, to cancer, to all sorts of problems. So hopefully the FDA will respond, and it's going to be a little while before it's banned off the shelf. So it gives the companies some time as well to revise this. But I think this is like what I call a bottom-up initiative, where it's the people saying we don't want things in our food that could potentially be linked to harm.
Newsom making a name for himself out there in California. Interesting. Dr. Coley, thank you so much for joining us today. DBL Nation, follow Dr. Coley on X, Instagram, and Threads at Pilot Coley MD for more great medical advice. Thank you again. Coming up on DBL, our interview with female bodybuilder in her 60s. She shares her secret to getting fit at any age.
The U.S. House of Representatives needs a new leader after far-right Republican members successfully led an effort to remove Kevin McCarthy from the speakership. One candidate that's been floated, former President Donald Trump. The Speaker doesn't actually have to be an elected member of the House, just be chosen by a majority of the representatives. But some people have claimed that the House's own rules would bar Trump from taking the position because he's been indicted. So let's verify. Is it against House rules for someone under indictment to be Speaker? Our sources: the House Ethics Committee, the House Rulebook, the House GOP Conference Rules, and the Congressional Research Service. Rule 13, Section 10B of the current House rules say, quote, "A member who has been indicted for a felony for which a sentence of 2 or more years imprisonment may be imposed should resign from any committees and should step aside from any party caucus or conference leadership position." Trump's 4 indictments contain numerous felony charges that carry sentences of 2 years or longer, and the Speaker is certainly a leadership position. House Republicans also have an almost identical rule for their own conference, Rule 26. So we can verify, yes, it is against House rules for someone under indictment to be Speaker. However, House rules are not laws. They don't come with the weight of a court. They're self-enforced. Violations of House rules can be investigated by the Ethics Committee, but that committee doesn't have much power beyond issuing warning letters and sometimes fines. Anything stronger has to be voted on by the full House, but those options are also limited. With a majority, the House can formally reprimand or censure a member, or with a 2/3 supermajority, expel them. But of course, if a majority of representatives vote to install Trump as Speaker in the first place, they're unlikely to turn around and vote to expel him for violating the rule. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
Welcome back. 61-year-old Cheryl Grant wants you to know that age is a gift, not a limit. Earlier, she told us what it takes to rock the stage in bedazzled bikinis and stiletto heels.
Cheryl Grant, thank you.
Yes.
Hello. So happy to be here today.
Looking great. You look
Honor.
insanely wonderful. Cheryl, amazing. You were crowned Miss Olympia in 2017 when you were 55 years old. Why did you want to get into bodybuilder shape and compete in these shows, Miss Cheryl?
Really quickly, I really stumbled upon bodybuilding. I really got into it to transform my body. But what the gift that came for me as I transformed my mind, I was in corporate America and I kept hitting what most would call a glass ceiling, but for women of color, it is a brick ceiling. And just kept trying to hit that, and unfortunately, I decided, well, I can't change that, but I can change myself. And so I went on this fitness journey, and I did just that.
Wow. Sure, I love this next part because it really hits home with me. You say it's important to focus on mental health for physical health. Why?
Your mental state of mind is everything. I created a platform called FIT. FIT standing for faith, intuition, and tenacity. It's your ability to believe in the impossible, learning how to trust yourself, and then the tenacity to just go get it done. The type of work that I'm doing in body transformation, you can't just do it by deciding. I mean, you can go to the gym, and yes, you can work out, and maybe you might receive some form of transformation, but true transformation starts in your mind first, and then it will transform into your body. I am a firm believer that you have to be mentally fit first. That's the only way that I could have sustained and achieved the title of Miss Olympia is through mental fitness.
Wow. I love how you talk about the mind transformation, because I tell people that was a piece that when I competed changed my entire life. The setting of the goal and actually following through to achieve that goal such an aesthetic way is transformative. What do you tell people who think that they're too old to start their mental and physical journey?
Okay, yours truly is 61 and about to be 62 in a couple of months. And I became Miss Olympia at 55. If you tell yourself yes, or if you tell yourself no, either way you're right. You get to choose. The one thing I want to say is that if you want to live the most optimal life at any age, you need to start now by taking care of your body. When you take care of your mind and your body, you have a greater percentage chance of living a life that is beyond phenomenal. I'm going to tell you something. We're all headed towards aging. It's inevitable. My grandfather used to tell me, either you die young or you get old. But when you're getting old, how do you do it, and how do you do it gracefully? And I am a champion for that.
Yes.
Absolutely. Like, I don't know.
We're blown away here.
I know. I want to go play a football game after talking to you. Like,
seriously, like you are so inspiring, and I love that you tackled the mental aspect of it. So let me ask you on behalf of all of our viewers, how does one become mentally fit, and what kind of resources do you provide on your website for this?
Well, one of the things I've done that I'm really excited about is through my journey of transformation is created a platform that's truly about taking care of yourself first, your mental, and I give you the tools and resources. But once you're mentally fit, it's very important that you put yourself in an environment where you can grow and sustain it. And I've cultivated that. I created something called the C4 Matrix. It's simple but powerful. Communication creates connection, connection creates collaboration, and collaboration creates community. With those things, there's a hidden C, which is change, and that's true transformation. I have a platform that has the resources, no matter if you're in your 20s, your 30s, or your 40s, or your 50s, to help meet you where you are. We're all different. We all have different needs along this life's journey, and I'm here to get you fit no matter where you are in life.
Wow. Cheryl, you have such a gift just speaking. I mean, you do. Every single person in the studio is now motivated. Cheryl, thank you for joining us on DBL today. Visit CherylGrant.com to learn more about Cheryl and her Fit for Life platform. Thank you again, Cheryl. Congrats on all your success. Thank you. We'll be right back.
Blessings always. Thanks you.
At multiple Walgreens stores nationwide, pharmacists walking off the job. Not for higher pay, they say, but for health and safety reasons.
We're so busy running ourselves ragged, it's like a marathon. And seeing, customer safety be at risk as well as our own.
Tammy, who asked us not to use her full name, works as a pharmacist technician at a busy Walgreens in Minnesota. She says she joined at least 10 of her colleagues who did not report for work on Monday.
It's very scary, and we're actually getting to the point where it looks like I don't know how much farther we can push ourselves.
In addition to filling and verifying prescriptions, Tammy and other Walgreens employees say pharmacists and support staff are also managing a high volume of calls, working with insurance companies, and administering a growing number of vaccines. In a statement, Walgreens acknowledges that the last few years have required an unprecedented effort from our team members, and that it has been a very challenging time. The second largest retail pharmacy also says it's engaged and listening to the concerns raised by some of its team members, and is committed to ensuring that the entire pharmacy team has the support and resources necessary. Last month, CVS pharmacy customers in Kansas City were impacted when workers there also walked off the job to protest over similar staffing concerns.
They understand the risks that are being posed to the community that with these demands on them, so they don't want to make a mistake.
According to USA Today, CVS corporate staff flew to Kansas City to meet with organizers and agreed to improve working conditions and patient safety.
I don't think a lot of customers understand that we are trying to do our best for them.
Walgreens organizers say they don't want to disrupt patient care, but need to take a stand, a sentiment some customers can appreciate.
I support workers' rights, and, a little inconvenience for me is worth it.
Several verified viewers forwarded us this text message that says 7 women died after inhaling poisoned perfume from a sample they got in the mail. Our viewers want to know if it's real. So, let's verify. Our sources are Glen Eagles Hospital in Malaysia, the DC Metropolitan Police Department, and a search of social media archives. The warning in this text claims to come from Glen Eagles Hospital, but there's no hospital in the U.S. with that name, although there is one in Malaysia. Glen Eagles Hospital has debunked this viral warning several times, including in this 2013 statement on Facebook saying, "We have never admitted or treated such patients and have never been aware of such incidences." We would also like to categorically state that this email did not originate from our hospital. 3 years later, the warning resurfaced on WhatsApp, prompting Glen Eagles to issue another statement calling it a hoax that has been around since 2001. This warning is one of several similar hoaxes that are attributed to the Office of Risk Management at the Metropolitan Police Department in Washington, D.C. A police spokesperson tells us the text wasn't sent from them and noted that the Office of Risk Management isn't located at the address listed on the text. So, no, 7 women did not die after inhaling poisoned perfume samples. The warning is a hoax. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Welcome back. We got some great products from our friends at Morning Save. Check them out. Steph, what do you have for us today?
First up, we've got the Bib Home Premium 6-piece rayon from bamboo sheet set with Sure Grip strap.
Oh, I love the strap.
This set is made of super soft 2000 thread count microfiber and bamboo blend.
Ooh.
Normally, this is between $99 to $139.
No, I can't. Sheets are way too expensive.
However, we have it. So you ready, Tori?
Yeah,
for
give me.
$29.99 to $39.99. That is saving you guys 71%. Now check out this, Tori. How cute. It is the Philips Sonic Hair Diamond Clean Rechargeable Toothbrush with an app. The sensor technology helps give personalized feedback about your brushing habits in the app.
What?
So you get 2 weeks of regular use from a single charge. Normally, this is $270. We've got it for $99.99. That's saving 63%.
This is the premier toothbrush in the world, and we have it at such a good price.
Tori, next today we've got the 2-pack Royal Borough cotton grommeted window panels. So these panels are made out of 100% cotton. They're heavy lined cloth that will help darken your room, add privacy, and save energy.
Love.
Normally these are between $59 to $69. We have got them for just $24.99 for 2 panels. So that's saving you guys 64%. And I love this color. It's
I know,
so light.
I do. Very neutral. This is very Steph color.
And last but not least today, we have got the 24-pack Laundry by Shelley Seagull women's low-cut socks. So they're designed to stay snug at your ankle, and they withstand tons of use and washing. Normally, this is $96.
Nope.
We've got, are you ready, Tori? 24 pairs of socks for $20. That's saving 79%.
Oh my gosh, you're set for life. Head on over to morningsave.com to snag these amazing deals at the lowest prices, or you can even scan the QR code on screen to take you directly to these products on Morning Save's website. Thank you so much, Steph. Before we go, right now, there is a mullet competition going on. You can vote for which of these men is the mullet maestro. Some of these years' competitors have been growing their manes for years, hoping to claim the title. For a lot of these men, it's more than a haircut, it's a lifestyle. You can vote at mulletchamp.com. I also have some for myself. We found me in a mullet right here in a good old buck teeth, big ears.
Yes.
There we go. There's
You
another
look good,
one. Oh,
girl.
yeah.
Hey, I dig a mullet. You look good, Tori.
I don't.
You look good.
I don't. You all take care of yourself, okay? We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. Please don't put that picture. Okay, we're done.